Welcome to the Iowa Department of Transportation's summary of the vision for this US 34 corridor. The Iowa DOT performed a corridor study for a portion of the US 34 highway in Clark, Lucas, and Monroe counties in south central and southeastern Iowa. This study follows the Iowa DOT Super 2 design guidance related to passing lanes, turning lanes, access management, shoulder design, signing and pavement markings, and rumble strips. What is a corridor study? A corridor study identifies transportation issues and major environmental concerns before construction funding is identified. Through this process, the Iowa DOT can consider a wide range of environmental and physical constraints, address various community concerns, and consider any economic goals in the project area. Public involvement and stakeholder input is encouraged throughout the process. The corridor study is early in the overall project development process. It looks at a larger study area and examines the overall high-level transportation needs of a corridor after an extensive review of the existing conditions, an analysis of traffic and safety concerns, and an inventory of potential environmental concerns. The study concludes with the creation of a vision document. This document will provide the Iowa DOT with key recommendations guiding what to prioritize during future improvement projects. Projects and Super 2 components that are identified through the study would then be considered for the next step of the project development process, environmental planning. That stage of project development would take place after funding for projects on the corridor was identified within the universe of all projects funded on the statewide primary highway system. Following that, these projects would be designed and constructed. The US 34 study area is approximately 65 miles in length, stretching from the western limits of Clark County through Lucas and Monroe counties to just east of its junction with State Highway 5 near Albia. US 34 is a primary east-west highway that connects with major north-south interstate and primary highway corridors, including Interstate 35 on the western side of Osceola. The study area passes through or near the communities of Murray, Osceola, Lucas, Sheraton, and Albia. The goals and outcomes of the US 34 Super 2 corridor study closely align with the improvement strategies and focus areas defined in the State Transportation Plan, Iowa in Motion 2050, including the following. Right-size the highway system and apply cost-effective solutions to locations with existing or anticipated issues. Target investments to address mobility and safety needs on critical two-lane routes. Reduce the number of overall major and minor crashes, and maximize the use of existing roadway capacity. The goal of the study is to provide recommendations for two-lane highway roadway improvements within the US 34 study area to be incorporated into future projects. These roadway improvements are intended to increase the operational performance, safety performance, and mobility within the corridor and focus primarily on identifying proposed new turn lanes and upgrading existing turn lanes, identifying proposed passing lane locations, and identifying spot roadway improvements. The viability of the recommendations outlined in the vision document will be assessed in the future to determine their feasibility for incorporation in future US 34 corridor projects. It is important to acknowledge that not all recommendations may be implemented due to potential constraints encountered during the implementation phase. Public involvement was and is an integral part of the study process. As part of the US 34 study, a comprehensive public involvement plan was developed to guide the public involvement process. Input was sought through a range of channels, including online public involvement meetings and small group meetings with stakeholders. All comments submitted to the Iowa DOT have been considered. The first public involvement meeting was hosted in person on November 16, 2022 at the Sheridan City Community Center in Sheraton, as well as online through the Iowa DOT's public involvement website. There were more than 60 attendees at the in-person meeting, and 24 attended and viewed the virtual meeting. The purpose of this meeting was to gather input to help identify issues and concerns addressed in the study. You are participating in the second public involvement meeting. The DOT is requesting your input after viewing this, and it will be considered in the final vision document. Existing infrastructure conditions, crash history and safety, and environmental constraints were examined as part of the study. Environmental areas were considered, such as floodplains, wetlands, woodland areas, recreational areas, waterways, protected rivers, sovereign lands, and regulated material sites. The review also looked at cultural and community constraints, such as cemeteries and churches. Overall existing infrastructure meets current design standards with only isolated locations that may be considered less than preferred. Paved shoulder width through the majority of the corridor is less than the preferred width for a Super 2 corridor. Existing climbing lanes in the corridor are shorter in length than the preferred length for a Super 2 corridor. The existing roadway infrastructure primarily has fair to good pavement conditions, with only 1.5 miles of poor pavement noted at locations within Osceola and east of Lucas. A recent resurfacing project within Osceola may improve the current pavement conditions rating. All existing bridges appear to be in reasonable condition, and none are currently posted for weight restrictions or considered deficient. More details on existing infrastructure are provided in the US 34 Super 2 study Existing Conditions Memorandum. Crash history and safety performance were also evaluated as part of the US 34 study to identify possible patterns of crashes, evaluate areas of roadway deficiencies, and determine areas for potential spot improvements. The analysis found that 478 total crashes occurred in the study corridor between 2017 and 2021, including 54 that resulted in serious or minor injuries and 5 fatal crashes. The US 34 Super 2 study Existing Crash and Safety Performance Report provides more information on the crash analysis. As previously mentioned, the vision document identifies locations for proposed new turn lanes and upgrades to existing turn lanes, passing lane locations, as well as spot roadway improvements. We'll discuss each of these improvements next, starting with turn lanes. A comprehensive evaluation of existing intersections to identify potential turn lane improvements revealed 436 points of access, including 115 intersections along the US 34 study corridor. Based on this evaluation, 17 locations have been identified for the installation of new right turn lanes, and there are 11 locations where a new left turn lane is proposed. Additionally, 3 locations have been identified for the extension of an existing right turn lane to an offset right turn lane. Turning lane recommendations are depicted on the following series of maps. Here at County Road R16 or 135th Avenue, the westbound right turn lane is recommended to be upgraded to an offset right turn lane. West of Osceola, 4 new turn lanes are recommended at County Road R25 or 180th Avenue LaSalle Road. These are 2 right turn lanes and 2 left turn lanes. The following are turn lane recommendations in Osceola. A new right turn lane at westbound 205th Avenue. At Southwest Boulevard, convert the westbound left turn lane to an offset left turn lane. New right turn lanes at both the I-35 southbound and northbound ramps, as well as convert the left turn lanes to offset left turn lanes. And at Warren Avenue, convert the left turn lanes to offset left turn lanes and new right turn lanes in both directions. A new westbound right turn lane is recommended at 270th Avenue. At Liberty Highway / R59, two new turn lanes are proposed, a left turn lane and a right turn lane. All existing turn lanes are adequate on this map. A new westbound right turn lane is recommended at the US 65 East Leg or Division Street, as well as increasing the storage length of the westbound left turn lane. West of Sheraton, two new left turn lanes are proposed at 200th Avenue. The following are turn lane recommendations in Sheraton. A new eastbound left turn lane at 220th Avenue. Upgrade existing right turn lanes to offset right turn lanes at South 1st Street and Albia Road. And increase the storage length for the eastbound left turn lane at South 1st Street. All existing turn lanes are adequate on this map. A new westbound right turn lane is recommended at County Road H35 or 197th Trail. A new eastbound right turn lane is recommended at 204th Trail, as well as a westbound right turn lane at County Road T7H or 196th Street. The following are turn lane recommendations in Albia. 4 turn lanes at Iowa 5 / Clinton Street, which are 2 right turn lanes and 2 left turn lanes. Also 4 turn lanes at County Road H47 or 13th Street / 201st Street, which are 2 right turn lanes and 2 left turn lanes. The corridor study identified 14 proposed locations for passing lane additions, 7 in the eastbound direction and 7 in the westbound direction. There are also 6 existing climbing lanes which are proposed to be extended and 4 that are recommended to remain as is. Passing lanes are built by adding an additional lane to the 2-lane roadway. The evaluation of the passing lane locations was generally limited to the rural sections of the study corridor. Posted speeds are reduced through the communities of Osceola, Lucas, and Albia, and therefore do not fit the need for Super 2 passing lanes. Passing lanes are proposed in locations to minimize impacts to known environmental resources, other highway infrastructure, and create regular passing opportunities. South and west of Murray, 3 existing climbing lanes are recommended to be extended, 2 westbound and 1 eastbound. West of Osceola, 1 eastbound climbing lane is to be extended and 1 new westbound passing lane are recommended. East of Osceola, there are 2 eastbound and 1 westbound passing lanes that are recommended. West of Lucas, there are 3 westbound climbing lanes in short succession that are recommended to be extended to create 1 continuous passing lane. There are also 2 climbing lanes recommended to remain as is, 1 eastbound and 1 westbound. Between Lucas and Sheraton, 1 eastbound climbing lane is to remain as is, and 1 new westbound passing lane are recommended. East of Sheraton, 1 westbound climbing lane is to remain as is, and 1 new eastbound passing lane are recommended. Near the Lucas and Monroe County line, there are 4 recommended passing lanes, 2 westbound and 2 eastbound. West of Albia, there are 4 more recommended passing lanes. 3 can be seen on this map, 2 westbound and 1 eastbound. The 4th recommended passing lane west of Albia can be seen on this map in the eastbound direction. There is also 1 recommended extension of an existing climbing lane east of Albia in the westbound direction. In both rural and urban areas along the US 34 corridor, improvements are recommended to address various issues highlighted during the field review, as well as in response to stakeholder comments and suggestions. Detailed information regarding the locations of the spot improvements are available for your review in the vision document. This has been a quick overview of the recommendations that will be incorporated into the final vision document. If you are interested in learning more details about the study, the technical memorandums for the US 34 corridor study are readily accessible on the PEMA website. You may find them through the links provided on the same page where you access this virtual meeting. The draft vision document is available through a link there also. Final public input is desired and will be used to finalize the vision document after the comment period is closed. The study will be used by both Iowa DOT and local jurisdictions regarding future studies, development, and funding of specific improvements to US 34. Findings, observations, and recommendations developed as part of this study will serve as the foundation for future projects on the US 34 corridor. These recommendations may be modified as they are incorporated into future projects during the environmental planning phase of projects based on changing conditions and new information. Your valuable feedback and concerns are crucial to shaping the outcome of this study. We encourage you to share your thoughts and opinions. Every comment is important to us. We hope this presentation has provided you with food for thought and that you're willing to share your insights on the study recommendations. Comments for this corridor study may be added in the comment section area on the right side of your computer screen or at the bottom if you are using a mobile device. Thank you for your participation in this public involvement meeting.